uh, it's really part of success of our company. The Kazan does have not only Kazan State University but other universities as well, who constantly provide like the new talent and the growth of existing talents who decide to leave, remain in Kazan, and some of them actually decide to teach other students in return, just as us. So, given that, we definitely had a good competitive advantage because compared to St. Petersburg and Moscow, the other two largest universities, Kazan is definitely a good cost-effective compromise where it's good to live, to actually grow up a family and also to enjoy the pretty good level of life. So specifically this photo, I guess I was doing what currently HR manager is doing. So I was doing a presentation to students about the opportunities, career opportunities in our company. And Timur, maybe you want to continue on career opportunities part in our company, given some of our potential new developers might hear that presentation.
Yeah, I believe that photo from the presentation for the university about our company and what we're doing and how could we teach students. I could try to share another photo from the university. Okay, next time. But anyway, right now I believe we have the longest partnership with the university where we're teaching Ruby and Ruby on Rails. I guess we are one of the main partner in the university, and a lot of people in our company joined from this university. Very talented people, most of them working right now in other great companies. That always great, good to know. And right now we teaching, I guess, around 30 or around 40 students per year, and most of them spreading across the city and the country, working with other great companies. Oleg, do you remember how long we working with this university?
Just as Chris noted, I had some problem with math just because it was way back when, but we were really kicking off that it is university, so we were really like right from the beginning of literally like the founders of that university, sort of. So yeah. Yeah, and by the way, just to continue on the talent path, like this is like on the technical and hard skills part, and I also wanted to share like a very old photo of very first Flatstack managers.
Oh yeah.
It's Dilare and I think other flex. I'm not sure. Like I remember the other name, but basically part of the success of our sort of global company with U.S. and Russia partnership is the thing that most of the managers actually used to live in U.S. like for about a year, like including myself. So this is where we are also getting a lot of good talent from, because those folks got an opportunity to know like what it is like to stick around US, and it is one of the competitive advantages that while we are over here, like we have a good language background and therefore can provide a good soft skills along the hard skills, because like this is actually what's becoming more and more important nowadays, and we're trying to also educate developers a lot just to make sure like some of the technical things that we need to explain to clients are coming directly from developers. So Yep.
Well, like that's a good point. I mean, I think one of the things that we have always focused on, you know, that we've had this, you know, tremendous pipeline of talent that we've nurtured and very skilled, you know, developers and as well as English skills, like you're saying. But we've always sort of nurtured like the, you know, global collaboration and cultural understanding. And like you said, when we can, facilitating sort of, you know, travel to the US or travel to visit clients or recruiting people who have spent time in exchange programs, as well as, you know, our global summits in Kazan, maybe this year in Warsaw, we'll see. Hopefully it's been a little bit delayed by COVID, but I know we're due for one. But I've always thought that was a real competitive advantage for us because there's a lot of global development companies located in different parts of the world, but our deep understanding of sort of the you know, US market or, you know, US European market, and as well as sort of the business realities of what it takes to build software and you know, the pressures that, you know, that startups have, that companies have as they're going through the different phases. I've always thought that was a really, you know, unique thing and something that we've focused on to build into our culture, so that there's a deep understanding and a true collaboration between our team and our clients.
Yeah, and also thanks for bringing quite a bit of US folks to Russia, because you mentioned like exchange program that also definitely was quite a lot of effort, and a lot of clients actually changed their minds like about Russia specifically, like no bears, for example, on the streets, including like Ryan, for example, recently visited us. Like a lot of folks from UK were worried like for him bringing in cell phone. So yeah, and by the way, Timur, do you want to also mention the Warsaw office? Like you mentioned, like a lot of graduates of that university like are studying here in Kazan, but actually also in Warsaw. This is all your like. This is all your sort of big win to open up an office in Warsaw.
Yeah, we need to say that we have office in Warsaw right now, and within 15 people working together day by day. I guess we have that office for last 3 years, something like that. And for the first day, that was the really challenge to find the right place to work in Warsaw and organize all the process. But I believe all these great stuff in Warsaw we have right now, because the team members that relocated to Warsaw from Kazan made a lot of changes in their life and help us to build a new branch in the company. So I just want to say thank you for all these great people.
That's a good shout out, Timur, because that they've made a big commitment and you know changes in their life, and it's been really remarkable to build a true another global office, another in another country. That's you've led that effort, and it's been a very major effort.
And just to ensure everyone, like we were picking Warsaw, like really for a reason. So Timur actually checked out like quite a bunch of countries in Europe before we landed in Poland and Warsaw specifically. So unlike like a lucky chance, Kazan and New Orleans pick, like Warsaw was a more mature sort of decision that was made by Timur. And yeah, if you guys want to tell a little bit more about how Warsaw became our choice, maybe you guys would love to know that. And Chris, maybe you also want to tell some story about why New Orleans.
Well, Oleg, I think you should tell, in terms of cultural exchanges, what was your experience like when you came to visit us in New Orleans for the first time? You came at also in February, but it was a very different time. It's a good time to be there, right?
Yeah, I frankly don't remember that year again, but it was probably around 7 years or maybe 8 years ago, and that was a Super Bowl New Orleans year. That's the thing. I remember very clearly because the whole city was like really not like just New Orleans. It was like like everybody from US was in New Orleans basically that time, and it also was a Mardi Gras season. So this is also what New Orleans is famous for. But apart those two big events that definitely probably filled New Orleans with different new colors at that time. I really like fell in love basically with New Orleans because this is the city, just as Kazan, that is a good compromise of like work-life balance basically because it had that sort of French romance in it. It had a lot of people walking all around. Like it also had a good cultural mixture already that the rest of the world can learn from, just as from Kazan, because everybody is very culturally rich in that city. So I really loved it.
That's great. Yeah, and we've had a long history in New Orleans. I should mention and shout out our longtime partner Peter Bodenheimer, who has moved on and is up in New York now, but he's a New Orleans guy and brought a lot of joy to our trips to Kazan, and worked with a lot of clients over the years. He's we miss him, but he was a great addition to the company.
Yeah, definitely say hi to him. And by the way, just to like one thing I remember from way back when is that probably the launch of a company was somehow attached to another big name, Ryan Carson, who actually was one of the uh, first kind of guys we collaborated with on projects when we kicked off the flat sourcing. So we definitely can try to remember all the great names, but it's probably too many. So yeah, Hidden Shaw, Leo Schiff. I can try to go on, but we're limited with time probably.
We have been really fortunate to work with a lot of great clients over the years, and one of the things that I always sort of internalize when things are rough and we go through good times, we go through hard times over 15 years. Of course, everybody does. There's ups and downs with it, but I've always held sort of core to my deep beliefs that one of the biggest sort of reinforcements at how good we are is our long-standing client relationships. It's you wouldn't pay for something that is not valuable to you for years and years and years and years. And we've had clients, some of our largest, that have been with us for probably 7 or 8 years. I mean, almost probably at least half as long as the company has been around, maybe more. So that's one of the things that I really have taken pride in is we have a tendency to focus more on companies that we can become true partners with, and be their engineering team, their development team, as they grow the company, and be a long-standing part of that versus just hey, here's a 6-week MVP, or here's a 6-week prototype, or at the end of the day, our contracts have flexibility. If we're not performing, if people don't like working with us, they don't have to stay with us, and yet people do. And so that's a tribute to our team, the talent of our developers, the skill of our developers, the quality of our work. And for me, that's always come back to, okay, that's the reason our business exists. That's the reason, we create value for people, and have been able to do that for a number of clients over the years, and take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, it's a good thing that some software lasts literally over 10 years, and some of the software is obviously to be written in time, because even the programming languages got changed. And once again, maybe Timur wants to share more about it, but just to note, we were starting as a Ruby on Rails company, and right now we are actually somewhere in the top list of US mobile development companies, both for iOS, Android, and we're also doing a very good front-end work. So Timur, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on technologies, that's more of your kitchen probably.
Yeah, I would like to remember that we use, probably we were one of the first company in Russia who chose the Ruby on Rails, and we started with the very early versions of the Ruby on Rails. Probably that was that Hackaback product. So that was really some kind of risk to choose this software for the first application. Really, but probably that was the version 0.16, something like that, before the official release of the Ruby on Rails. And the fun thing that we found the Ruby on Rails in some chats working with
Binary Cloud.
We need to say that we had some projects made with PHP for the first time, and all the time we tried to find some framework with all required things, and sometimes most of the core developers of the PHP framework made by that company, Binary Cloud, said that they're going to migrate to Ruby on Rails because it's so great, and we found that it could be useful. And another fun thing that I believe CEO of the Binary Cloud sometimes were our next client. I don't remember exact name or the new company, but we made a Ruby on Rails project for him after.
Was it Alex Black maybe, or I'm not sure?
Maybe you're right.
Yeah, I remember with touring, right?
Yeah.
And then when iPhones appeared, I remember how you Chris, were one of the first importers of iPhone devices over here, and Alex, you really were setting them up at night. I remember that clearly. Do you want to refresh us a little bit on how you actually helped iPhone, whatever, I'm not sure how you call it officially, but what did you do to iPhones so that they started to work in Russia? I don't know. He just did something. It's out of my kitchen though.
Yeah, this is really fun, chapter of of friendship, I would say. Chris brought. I think it was just you, not with Peter that time, but I think you brought us the really first iPhones over here to Kazan, and it was like a huge thing for us to hold them in our hands. And I do have that picture somewhere when Oleg is sleeping in my apartment, and I'm sitting with all the iPhones and trying to make them work in Russia.
That's how you call it, all right.
Yes. So it was not kind of really officially supported at that moment, but it was really fun. Hacking is
no Russian hackers around over here.
in a good way
Yeah.
is something that we love to do, like all those hackathons and things like that. And the next kind of important part of hardware, Chris, you brought us iMacs, like the huge, the heaviest things on earth, I guess, from US to Kazan, like those two huge boxes, and it really still works. And I remember you, like, almost each time I get to work on it. So it was like a true bridge between like Kazan and US, and in that also in that exchange of equipment. So yeah.
Well,
And then it became a tradition. Sorry, Chris. I just want to once again thank you for bringing all that hardware, because it was not like available around here, like, and all those new Macs that we got. So it was really great.
yeah, that was I feel like I was working for Amazon as a courier service at the time, because it was hard. It's hard to ship from the U.S. to Russia, and so I remember going through the airport with boxes and duffel bags full of Apple equipment. And I did. One time they unzipped it and they asked me what I was doing. I told them I was a filmmaker and I needed all the equipment. But it was glad to be able to equip our office, so well, because it's important to have the right tools for the job, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also was a game changer, like, because like it was very important to work on the latest sort of models, computers, to be able to actually develop great things. So, on behalf of all developers who work on that, thank you.
Yeah, we were developing. I remember bringing iPads over, and everything prior to that was being done on emulators, and we didn't even have the hardware there that we were developing for early on when we were building iOS stuff.
Yeah, we're like definitely one of the first iOS developers, maybe in Russia actually as well. And one of the first iOS developers, as far as I'm following, he's actually right now working for Facebook. His name is Vyacheslav. So like we're really old. So some of our ex-employees maybe in time will become CEOs in some big companies, and hopefully we'll make some connections through that. So yeah, we're waiting.
Yeah. All right, let me put up one more screen here, and I'll see if you guys want to as well. But I wanted to share this image, the Flatstack core values. This has been, one of the cornerstones of the business over the years, and we did this very early on. I don't remember how early when we sort of established our core values, but we've had these in place for at least 10 years, and it was important because we're a global company, and global partnership, and just people coming together to build a company. We had to sort of build trust and agree on sort of a set of principles or a set of values for what we wanted this company to be like. So I just wanted to kind of reflect on these, for a few minutes. It's always been important to our company, but I'll just tell a quick story about one of my favorites. When we were there, one of the early years, I remember Peter was with me, and we had our client Lior Schiff with us, and this was one of those I don't know what we were talking about, but one of those hard talks, and Lior came in and said, "Guys, win, win, win. You can build a company that is a win-win-win company that aligns your customers, your employees, and the company." And to me, that always meant it sort of changed the thinking in terms of it's not a zero-sum game. It's not a partnership where one side wins, one side loses. You can do well by delivering value to your clients, to your customers, your employees, treating them well, developing them, helping them grow, celebrating when they graduate and they move on, and then build something of lasting value in terms of the company. And here we are at 15 years, and clearly we've been able to do that. So I just wanted to sort of shout out Lior for giving us that core value of win-win-win. I feel like we've been able to live up to that, and that's been one that's been important to me.
Yeah, my favorite probably would be work hard, play hard. And I'm not sure like what part of that is more about me, about working hard or playing hard. Probably both. But yeah, that's probably my favorite. How about you guys?
I really love that we do have our core values, and I thank everybody for coming with those up. And I know Peter did a lot to put that in place as well. So not sure about the favorite. I think probably communicate transparently and honestly, and at the same time, it's very great that we really made it so that we every day think of those values and do come back to those values when we make any kind of decisions in the company. And that win-win-win is also a big kind of thing that put our minds in that kind of paradigm when we think of all the sides and not just one side of the company. So it really made our company the way it is right now, that we really think and honor all of those things. And at the same time, it allows everybody in the company to act this way, to love the flat world, to flatten and explore it, to communicate honestly, to think about the company. So it really shows up in all the different ways, and it really kind of pleasant thing to see when our current people in the team make some decisions or think of something and remember those values and say like, okay, we need to like do something that we will be proud of, and mention those values in some way. And it's really cool to notice that and see that the company is growing on those bricks, growing on those principles.
Yeah, and definitely agree that it's great to have these kind of core values and see in the real life, in the working life, how people making decisions based on these core values. And my favorite, definitely all of them great, and set people up to succeed and innovate, make mistakes, learn. This all about that we need to learn, try, make mistakes, and this is the path how we could grow. But win-win-win, this I guess the core value we used during the strategic planning with the team leads. We're trying to build new action items and next steps for the next quarter, trying to balance between customers, employees, and company. So it's very, very important thing for us.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for those reflections. Any sort of final thoughts here as we reach the end? Anything else anybody wants to share? Either photo or memory or anything you guys want to share?
Well, I just once again want to thank everyone who were part of Flat Sourcing, Flatstack, like on all levels, and contributed to the growth of the company and and made some part of their lives together with us. It was a very good journey. There were obviously ups and downs, just as in life in general, and we're very lucky that all that experience happened to us. And using that video, I just want to thank everyone. Thank you.
Nice, thank you, Oleg.
Yeah, I agree with Oleg a lot on that. That we had a lot of people come through our company, and all of the people trusted us, gave a lot of energy to our company, love, and I think we did it in return. So thank you everybody for being with us, and I think we do have a lot of future. A nice future to go through. So I'm excited to welcome everybody who will be joining us next 15 or more years. I think we do have an amazing team right now on all layers of that structure, and it's really amazing to see what it can come up with, how we can grow, and thank you for being with us.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see what we are doing inside the company and outside of the company. Actually, there are a lot of real families built in the company, and a lot of great products built by these people. And right now, we're changing a lot of things changing around the company, and I believe that right now the world is flattened more than even before. During this COVID era, we're all working remotely. There are a lot of new people we could meet in the future. So I'm very excited to work with all existing team members and new team members who will join next 15 years.
Yeah, exactly. I think one of the things I was reflecting on was, Oleg, when you and I went to Moscow, the year of Geeks on a Plane, and we met the U.S. ambassador to Russia, Michael McFaul, and what he said to us was really interesting and sort of stuck with me. He's like, you guys have built a business that is the fabric of the U.S. and Russia relations, and whatever happens at political levels, and there's ups and downs, and we've weathered those. What's important is businesses like us and partnerships like this, and how they have connected us as partners in business, but also have connected our members of our team with people around the world who they've done work for, and built relationships with and built friendships with. So I think that is probably our longest lasting legacy, is building that fabric of society through this global partnership that's been so long lasting over the years. So we have a lot to celebrate in our 15th year, and as we're all saying, many more good years ahead to come.
Yeah, right.
But bonds between people are stronger than all those temporary things in life. And by the way, just to highlight, Timur mentioned a good teaser in terms of like a topic for potential video shooting. So a lot of families actually appeared after some people were socializing and networking around Flatstack. If you guys want to make a series out of it, we probably can do it. Yep.
There's probably good history there. Good history of
soap movies. Is that how they call it? Yeah.
Soap opera. Yeah.
Soap opera. Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll see if Lauren wants to add that episode to our 15 weeks of celebration of our 15 years. But I just wanted to express my gratitude to you guys, to our whole team, to all of our clients over the years. win-win-win. We wouldn't be here without everybody. And we're very grateful. So thanks for being with us on the journey thus far. And, here's to the 15 more years ahead.
Yay.
All right. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye-bye.
See you soon.